everybody, and welcome to today's mini episode of Attendance Bias. Looking forward to next week's full episode, which will be with guest Lucas Jordan about Phish's show from August 1st, 2023 at Madison Square Garden, right in the smack dab middle of their 7-show MSG run that summer. In order to prepare for it, I put out a call to ask all Attendance Bias listeners who had memories, stories, or opinions about the summer 2023 tour, or especially if they had anything to say about that Madison Square Garden run. And I want to say thank you to everybody who called in. It really put us in the mood to listen to that next episode next week and to give us a quick reminder about why the summer 2023 was so special. So without further ado, let's hear what you, the Attendance Bias listeners, had to say about the summer 2023 tour.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I attended the 7-night MSG run in summer 2023. My most memorable experience from the run was catching numbers 3 and 4 for the early entry for the floor, and I was able to get up on the rail for the first and only time so far in my life. And I was able to bring my uncle and some friends, and that was it was the second night of the 2 middle shows. So I think that was August 2nd or 3rd. And watching the show from that perspective is definitely a game changer. And being so up close and personal with the band, it's an experience like nothing else. You can still see me on the stream wearing my purple Trey Rock On shirt during the Meat Stick is Ice, and I have a wonderful memory of trying rather unsuccessfully to dance along to the Meat Stick dance with Trey, and I was laughing at myself for sort of messing up the moves and watching Trey, and then Trey noticed me laughing, and we just had a few brief seconds of just mutual laughter in the middle of the show, which is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Hey, this is Keith from Cincinnati calling for the Attendance Bias podcast. 2 quick memories from summer 2023. First, second night of the Garden. I was about to go and walk out, catch the train, and get out of town early. It was the end of summer tour for me, and I had to get back to Ohio from New York. And they came out with this Monster 2001. Not the longest I've ever heard, but the crowd freak out. I've been seeing Phish for a long time. I don't think I've ever seen the Garden freak out quite like that before. It was that moment I'm like, forget it. There's another train. I'm staying for the end of the set. And Phish treated us right because on the heels of that freak out, they came with the only Hold Your Head Up to the tour and the only Fishman Spotlight of the tour, and a pretty funny Cracklin' Rosie to go and finish out what was a really fun Saturday night. Second thing about that tour is a couple nights earlier, first night at the Man, The Well, Do Not Sleep on this version. It's over 20 minutes long, 2 real light sides, 2 real dark jams. It's a song that is criminally underplayed by Phish. I think the best of one of their new songs. They need to play that way more often. Summer 23 was super fun, and it led up to what was a fantastic 2024. Thanks.
Hey, I don't know if it's too late for the Attendance Bias request on the 23 run, but had a minute here on lunch break and wanted to say I went up to Syracuse. It was my only plan for Phish that summer, and I felt that they were fucking had a special energy back, and was really fucking excited leaving that show. The second set, Wolfman, the Tweezer, Oblivion that night were through the roof, and that Kill Devil Falls will always reign in my heart. It's the last time I'll ever see one of my good friends as he walked off into the crowd. So regardless, best of this, best that. I mean, it is one of the most standout versions of that song, but that reigns especially in my heart. The whole thing through it. I wasn't super excited when it started. Then he came up, then they started jamming, and then that was something. But anyway, that got me so fucking excited. I had to get down to NSG for a couple of the shows, and I went, to the Sunday one with my buddy, got on the train and made it over there. And the two llamas was just fucking like, you could like, tell the band was really like fucking grooving back into like, feeling easy. When the band's feeling easy, the rest is gold, So the two llama joke thing, was really, really funny, I thought set the mood for the whole week. I didn't make it back until, I think maybe the final night. I don't remember. It was the Tweezer, Guy Forget, Guy Forget fucking blast that, really, really left me fucking glowing in 23. Those 2 nights at MSG in Syracuse really, really stood out for me. I made it to a few more shows, but later on in that year. But those 3 really, really fucking hit it, man.
Hey Brian, it's Megan, your friend from HF Pod. It's really fun to be leaving a message. Usually I'm the one getting the messages, so this is great. I wanted to call in about this MSG run in the summer of 2023 because it was one of my favorite things that summer and just so many unforgettable moments. I'm looking back at my notes and I can't believe some of these things I forgot about, like the Island Tour Cavern nod. Here's the AC/DC bag that was jammed out, giant 30-minute Fuego. We've got that huge tweezer with the Guy Forget quotes. There were just so many moments on this run that were really, really special. But probably my favorite was night 1, the way they opened with Evening Song, and then just incredible energy throughout that whole show and perfect flow. The Wave of Hope as the second song, Monster Jam, and then a great Cities Jam to follow. And then set 2 has that great plasma and ends in that absolutely just scenery chewing up, split open and melt. What an unbelievable way to open that run. And it just showed all of us that they were so ready. I remember walking around the concourse at MSG in between the 2 sets, and every other jaw on the floor just could not believe how ready they seemed and how hungry it was. It was thrilling. So it was fun to listen back, and I can't wait to hear this episode. Thanks, Brian.
Hey, Brian. This is Derek from Western Massachusetts. Glad I saw your post tonight. I wanted to share my thoughts on 7:30:23. So this would be my only show of 2023 due to a newborn baby at home. And 7:30 was just a few days shy of the anniversary of my first show, which was 8/2/03. Would have been the 20th anniversary. So when they opened with AC/DC Bag, that was the same opener as my first show at the Hit Festival. I was immediately in this mindset that some kind of 20-year cycle was coming to a close for me that night. Then I got my first jammed out, My Friend. We got the awesome funky blues intro to Theme from the Bottom. We got that double llama with the false start with jokes from Trey and Fish about doing whatever we want to do. Debut of Life Saving Gun, which had been on my radar for a while since it was released on that the album prior there. Huge No Men in No Man's Land, which really set the stage for the second set. Frankie Says after that really cosmically sort of confirmed the end of the cycle I had been feeling. And then a set closing light with a huge peak out of this murky low. Then I got my 5th Susie Greenberg encore and my only Isabella ever. And also that night, the best part of that night was meeting you and being able to have a hug and put a face to your name and the beginning of a friendship. I really appreciate your show, man. I wish you years of great shows to come. Take care, brother.
Hey, this is Duchess Nutter, and some highlights from the New York MSG run this summer. Took my mom to her first Fish shows. I went to the entire run, and that was my first time at the Garden. And it was also the first time I ever went to multiple Fish shows alone. I had a great time, even though my Airbnb host canceled on me 24 hours before my arrival. I figured it out I met a lot of great people and explored the city and fell in love with it. Peace.
And that's it for today's mini episode for Attendance Bias about the summer 2023 tour, in anticipation of next week's full episode with guest Lucas Jordan about August 1st, 2023 at Madison Square Garden. Thank you so much to everyone who called in. Thank you so much to everyone who's listening. And I'll see you next week on a full episode of Attendance Bias.